Have you ever wondered what you'd do if the RV that you were camping next to was engulfed in fire? Well, I figured out what you need to do. Let me tell you about it. My wife and I were staying in an RV park in Marin County, California, just north of San Francisco. We were just sitting in the RV and the door was open, and all of a sudden I could smell a barbecue that was just stinky. And I thought, oh boy, who's burning their trash in the barbecue? What's going on out there? And I stick my head outside and I see the RV directly behind ours. So the back-to-back RV directly behind ours is engulfed in fire, and there's fire shooting out the top and the side. I froze for a moment, but then I realized, okay, I need to grab the hose and start. So I grabbed my hose and started spraying until I could figure out, did my wife come out here? Now I'm out there in bare feet, mind you, because I just ran out the RV when I didn't have any shoes on. Then I remembered that this RV has a single mom that normally lives in it, and she had a daughter that was there part-time, and this daughter had a hamster or a gerbil. I'd always see her taking it in and out of the trailer, and I thought, oh my gosh, that pet is stuck inside. So I grabbed my crowbar and ran over to the RV. I couldn't get the door open. RV doors are actually harder to get open than you think. And so I just said, okay, well, let me smash the window here and see if I can't reach inside to open the door. So I go to smash the window and then realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm barefoot. At this point, my neighbor has come out and he is spraying water on there. So I run back over to my RV, realizing I can't get the door open, and the smoke's getting worse. So I'm not so worried about the hamster anymore. By the way, the hamster was never inside, I found out at the end of the story. So no hamster was harmed in the telling of the story. I went back to my RV and I started grabbing fire extinguishers. I had, it turns out, about 5 or 6 full-size fire extinguishers stashed around my RV and in my truck. So I started grabbing them and trying to spray them over the top of the RV to kind of where the flames are coming out. If nothing else, just to keep it at bay. My wife at this time was calling 911. I go through the first one, I go through the second one. It's helping keep the fire down, but it's not really stopping it. At this point, the side of the RV actually explodes out a little bit from the pressure and gas inside, and this rain of black fiberglass just falls over my head, which was stinky and weird, and not getting it burned or anything, but I was like, great, now I'm inhaling burning fiberglass. I go through about 5 or 6 of these fire extinguishers, and I just realized, okay, this isn't helping. I grab my hose and start spraying, which is making my neighbor's pressure drop. It is to say, we're spraying there, and I tell my wife, hey, at some point in this process, I said, grab the dogs and the laptop, hop in the truck, and pull it away from the RV trailer that we were in. So as she's heading to the truck, at some point, I remember dropping everything I had in my hands. I ran over to the front of the RV to get the propane tanks off of my RV in case the fire spread, right? And this tells you about adrenaline when you're in a fire situation. I closed those valves so hard and fast on the propane bottles that I actually broke the handles, and they were twisted off basically at the spokes. So I literally twisted the handle right off, pulled them off, threw them in the back of the truck, and my wife backed up the truck to a safe distance with the dogs and our laptop. I ran back over to the trailer, and I'm holding the water, standing behind sort of this Rubbermaid shed that was in the back of the spot, trying to keep myself shielded from what's now quite intense heat. And at this point, I'm spraying my RV because I'm afraid that my RV might catch fire. Luckily, it was right at that moment that I heard the sirens come in. And I heard the fire truck come in. It was, on the other side from me, in the front of this RV. And the very first thing they did is just turn on that hose and started spraying my RV and the neighbor's RV. I felt this rush of cold water come over my head. I immediately dropped my hose. The real firefighters were there. It was so much water so quick. It never felt so good to have all that cold water after the heat of that fire just being a couple of feet away. Got all the fiberglass right off of me immediately. I backed away and let the firemen do their thing. Within a few minutes, they had completely extinguished the fire. Talking to the firefighters, they said that when they come into an RV park, and this is something to remember, when they see that an RV is on fire, the first thing they do is pour water on the adjacent RVs because they know that that RV is done. The moment it's on fire, there's nothing to save there. So they focus on the RVs around them, which is what saved us, and then they put it out. I had to come way off that adrenaline rush. It was pretty intense. I had at some point there put on some boots, so I was smart enough to do that. But then as I was sitting there decompressing, I put all my fire extinguishers out in the front because I knew I was going to have to go get them all filled. And we went inside, and I just took a break, and it was one of the biggest adrenaline rushes I've ever had. And the RV park owner, being such the sweetheart that he was, because I guess some other people had used fire extinguishers as well, and he had brought that next day a fire extinguisher recharge professional to recharge the extinguishers. And he actually went and swapped out all of my fire extinguishers that I left out with refilled ones as payback for trying to help put out the fire. So it was really sweet that he went and recharged and replaced all of my fire extinguishers because they're not cheap, and I used, I think, 6 of them that day. So I think, the main take home, if you are next to a fire and an RV is on fire, and you can't just move your RV immediately. For us, there was no chance. That was going to take 10, 15 minutes. Then what you need to do is get those propane tanks off and out of there, get your vehicle out of there, get your family out of there. If there's important papers or a laptop, grab it, but go. Get away from there and just get the fire department there because there's nothing you can really do to put out an RV fire once it's engulfed. The only thing you can do is save yourself. And if you have an opportunity to save your stuff, maybe give it a shot. We thought about, after the whole thing finished, maybe we could have just put the safety chains on the back of the truck and just pulled the RV 5 or 10 feet into the road. But, that would have been blocking the road, and what if fire trucks had to get through? So really, it's just about save yourself. And if your vehicle is disconnected, just get your vehicle out of there. Get your family out of there. That's the only part that's really important. And call the fire department because they're the only ones who are going to put out an RV fire. All the fire extinguishers in the world aren't going to save you there. Those are just to help you get out of the RV. Once you're out of the RV, that RV is going to go up in flames. There's not much you can do about it. So if you're near an RV fire, just save lives and get away. That's really the only thing you can do. So anyway, I don't know if there's really any point to that other than I thought I'd tell you the story of when the RV caught on fire right next to me. It's only happened once, and I hope it never happens again. Thanks, everyone.